Wake up now, family. Jason Elrod here, and welcome to this week's Inside Look. This week I'm sitting down with former VP of Communications in Wake Up Now and current VP of Sales, Andy Benis. What's up, brother?
How you doing?
So you heard me right. Andy, as you know, has been the voice of Wake Up Now. He's been the VP of Communications here and has done a lot behind the scenes. But recently, Andy's got a promotion. He's now the VP of Sales, and he works directly with me. And that's a really important role that we're going to go into. And I want to kind of outline what Andy's doing here in Wake Up Now. But for some of you that may not know, Andy's been a personal friend and has been with Kirby, Phil, and I in other ventures for a number of years before Wake Up Now. And he's a guy that we trust tremendously in everything we're doing. And he's truly one of the best at what he does. So I want to go through and kind of let you know a little bit about Andy, and let's get to know him a little bit. So Andy, you got a master's in psychology, right? It's not everything, but it's something, right?
Right. So
tell us how you use that master's in psychology and how you use that in business.
You know, and actually there's a point to be made there about goals and life goals that, you know, that was on the way to a PhD, because I thought I wanted to be a therapist, and then it took me about, well, as long as it took the master's degree to figure I can't shut up long enough to be a therapist, right? I can't listen for 40 hours a week. That's just not my gig. So the career path kind of veered, and I thought, man, I wasted all this time getting this master's degree I'm not going to use. And it was a mistaken thinking on my part, because the reality is psychology is about people and about thinking about performance, and that has everything to do with the business world. And so I've applied that knowledge, because the emphasis was in industrial organizational psychology, which is all about people and teams and how they perform within organizations, how to optimize that and all that stuff with training and tools and structure and goals and all that good stuff. So I found out that's an immediate application to the business world, where people need to know who they are, what they're good at, how they plug in their skills to be the most effective in whatever role they're playing. But you know, the reality at the end was I probably didn't need a master's degree to figure that out, but that was the path I took, and it worked out well, so right. Happy about it.
So you've also have significant experience in teaching, training, emceeing. Everybody's gotten to know you as the MC and the voice of Wake Up Now at the events. So talk about your teaching experience, and as part of your job with Wake Up Now and in the business sales role, how are you going to use those skills in order to help our distributors take their business to the next level?
Sure. I mean, professionally, I've leveraged it, you know, part-time, teaching college level courses, which is fun because I love, you know, teaching young people. But the reality is people need information, and then they need motivation. So, you know, there's a bare minimum of knowledge you've got to have to do your job well, regardless of your field. But after that, it's about helping people implement that, because knowledge, you know, unleveraged or unused is worthless. Head knowledge without foot action is pointless. So training is generally about taking what you know and showing people how to use it. So my passion in corporate training became taking people at whatever level from the things they knew in their heads to putting it into action. Or, you know, you and I go to a training seminar, right? And I know you're a big learner, lifelong learner, and so we go to these big professional seminars, right? The Stephen Covey stuff and all that. It's great to take notes and learn it all, but the bottom line at the end was, what am I going to take home and do differently tomorrow morning than I did yesterday? And is that going to make any difference? Because if you don't try it, learn something new, and then try it, you're never going to know if you're going to get any better, and you won't.
Right. So I have a saying, Kirby has a saying, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
Totally.
Right? So as part of your job at Wake Up Now, we're not a sales organization. We're in the business of sharing, not selling.
Right.
And so as we help our distributors, they've got to measure where they're at. And so you're going to be out helping everybody understand where they're at, trying to coach them on how to get to the next level, doing that at open meetings. And we really want to make sure we're proactive in helping everybody grow within their business. I want you to talk about that a little bit, because it's something you're really passionate about.
Totally, absolutely. And I partially because I'm kind of an efficiency nut. I'm kind of stupid. Like if I'm getting groceries out of the car, my wife will look at me and I've got like 6 bags on each arm. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm not making 2 trips. I can do this, right? So I'm an efficiency nut. And part of that is helping people figure out if this is where you want to get. First of all, do you have a goal? Right, it's that if you would never jump in your car to go somewhere and not know where you're going, because you're going to drive around circles, wasting gas, wasting time. The other thing is, all right, so you set that goal. And that's an art form all of itself, and we could spend, you know, weeks just training on goal setting. And I know a lot of great leaders and a lot of the successful leaders that we, you know, whose success we watch, have done a great job teaching their folks how to set goals. But after that, it's the progress, right? You know, anybody who's driving a car made after the 80s, right, has some decent instrumentation that tells you where you're going, how many miles you've gone. In most cars now, how many miles per gallon you're averaging, how many miles until your tank's empty, what direction you're headed, right? Your compass is built in. Those are the kinds of tools that I think, no matter what level you are as a person who's sharing, selling, building an organization, you have to know where you are right now planes, boats, they all have got those cockpits full of instruments to tell them where they are, how far along they are, the status of all their equipment, and all. And every business is the same. This is no different. People need to know, how are my people doing? What are they good at? What are they not good at? Some of what we're going to do with people is to just say, are you aware of where your guys are? Are you aware of your, let's say you've got 5 or 6 frontline guys, and there's a couple of them that are just not cutting the mustard. Do you know why they're not? Do you know what their biggest needs are? What can you do to help them just notch it up 1 level, then 2 levels, and improve their game? And another part of that, I've talked about this, is going to be behind the scenes here at Wake Up Now, working with Steve and the technology team to make sure that we've got the tools moving forward to help people get a dashboard that really helps them monitor where they are. So we're going to train them to know what they're looking at, what do these numbers mean, and then really turn that into action with their teams.
Right. So you're never too young or old to stop learning. And
no way.
Julian Kushner pulled me aside and was talking to me about this at the Cancun meeting. We had a leadership summit, as everybody knows, in Cancun. And that meeting was all about growing as a team, not growing as individuals, but in order to grow as a team, you have to grow as an individual to do your part in the team.
Right.
And we're all here doing that. I grow every day, you grow every day, our leaders in the field grow every day. I've yet to meet the person that knows everything and does everything right. But together we're better than any one of us individually. So as we go out and we work on our efficiencies, personal growth and personal development, and Julian said this right, is one of the most important things. And he hasn't been able to build his business without it. He learned that at a young age, and I got to tell you, he's really, really sharp at passing that along to his team. And so that's going to be one of the important things that you're going to pass on is a different kind of efficiency.
Right.
Because Wake Up Now is about efficiencies, right? Save, manage, and make your
That's
money.
right.
Saving money is an efficiency.
That's
manage
right.
your money is an efficiency.
Absolutely.
So talk about some of the goals that you have for our team out in the field and what they can look for from it.
Yeah, I mean, we could throw out a million cliches, right? Work smarter, not harder. And I think it's important moving forward. People are going to need to know there isn't one way to do this business, right? I mean, you're doing these inside looks every week, and every week we've got somebody with a slightly different twist on how they work their business. You got internet marketers, you got belly-to-belly marketers, there's no one right way. So I think the hardest thing as a new person, which is sort of who I have a passion for, is the folks who are new to the company, new to the business, new to the industry. How do you get that person over that hump of the initial comfort level, right? Because once people start making money in this business, they're not going anywhere. Now it's just about improving their game and getting even better, and that's one strategy. Then there's the person who just got here, and it's a slightly different strategy because they're just got that deer in the headlights thing, right? Like, I'm overwhelmed. This is too much information. There's too many products. But everybody's got a need, and everybody's in this business for a reason, right? Everybody's talking about know your why. You got to know your why. Well, as a team leader, you got to know their why. And feed that to them, and then turn that into simple steps they can take to hit interim milestones of success, because you're not going to go from a D1 to a global exec. Don't even try, and that shouldn't even be your next goal. Your next goal should be the next hurdle you can get to. But everybody's got to know how they're going to do that. What's the plan? Where are your people now? Are you sitting down with them? Are you spending the time? Not forcing one way to do it, because your way may not be my way, right? And it's kind of like sales. People buy for their reasons, not yours. So you can come to my house and tell me the right way to do things around my house all day long. But if it doesn't fit with my personality, or if I have a different set of tools in my garage, you and I are not going to do the same project the same way, and that's okay. And I think people need to know that. So to tie back the psychology piece of it, you have to care enough about the people you work with to study them a little bit, their personalities, their habits, their likes, their dislikes, what they do for fun, what do they, to know what motivates them. Because that's going to, not because you're going to do therapy with them or, take them out on dates. It's because you got to turn that into a way you talk to them and the way you help them build their business. Training plans need to be personal and to be successful. So you use the system, but then you personalize it. You put your twist on it.
Yeah, one of the way we manage the corporate staff here is when people know you care, they care.
That's right.
And it works the same in the field. It's a relationship business, whether you're selling nuts and bolts or you're selling platinum packages or Thunder or whatever you're selling. So,
I've used that a lot where people, people don't get that. One of the most frustrating things about knowing a lot up here is you're super eager. And I know people in this industry, and I've met enough of our distributors to know this is a hyped, aggressive, energized bunch, and they're ready to go. But the tendency is to take everything you know and just brain dump into somebody else, right? You're just barfing information, and the first thing that happens is they get overwhelmed and they shut down.
Right.
So the trick is to figure out how do you engage another person, because like you just said, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right. Build that relationship first, then slowly spoon feed them what they need to make their next step successful.
That's right. So as we transition along, talk about what excites you about getting out in the field. You're a guy that loves to be out there working with people.
Totally. I always joke, some people look at emceeing like when I've gotten to do that at the corporate conferences, and it's literally the most favorite thing I get to do, right? Because otherwise it's sitting at the laptop typing up a blog or whatever, which is fun, but it's not the same energy as being on stage. So I love that part, but really it's the energy. It's the energy of the room. I don't care if it's a home meeting. I don't care if it's a 5,000 person, banquet room. If you learn to get comfortable in your own skin, you're going to address those things the same way, and that's part of what I want to do. I want to, selfishly, I know you, I care about you, and I know how thin you've been worn traveling to every state and multiple countries, and so I think the timing is right for what we're trying to do here to ease some of that burden so that it's critical to maintain corporate's presence in the field, and I'm excited about being able to do that so that we can treat New York, Philly, Kansas City, Florida, Washington, it doesn't matter what state, what city, if we can bring that flavor and that passion into somebody's room, we're communicating a couple of things, at least in my book. One, we care enough about you and your team. This is to the leaders, right? We care enough about you and your team to be here and invest in you and your time and your effort. Then we're communicating to the people who have come, this is real. This is a genuine opportunity, and we're real people. This is not a fly-by-night, shady, run out of somebody's garage organization.
Right.
This is a company that has true passions about people and about doing things with integrity, but doing it well, because you guys have set a pretty high standard.
Right.
And I'm encouraged and excited about taking that out there and helping people understand this is legit. We want to support you because we're doing it right, and the bus is leaving, and we want you on it.
That's right. So, as you said, we're out in the field because we want to be out there.
Totally.
We're investing time into our business. Our leaders are investing time, and if they're willing to invest and put time, we're going to match that.
Yep.
I'm one of the most competitive people you'll ever meet.
That I know.
We put all of our passion, and nobody works harder in this business than we do because we want to make sure we hold our end of the deal.
That's
so,
right.
Look forward to getting out there with you, man.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate your help. I
Looking
enjoy
forward to it.
working with you. I know our leaders are ecstatic. When I kind of announced it at our leadership summit, got a standing ovation
That's
because
awesome.
they know you. They know how much you care.
Well, I'm
it's
excited.
apparent how much you care to people.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
really look forward to it. When people know you care, they care. So look forward to Andy. He's going to be out on the road with me, and we're going to go do some great things. Have a great day next week. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.